Yo, this is Steve Bloom, and you're watching Moana Nui Podcast. We'll be starting soon. Don't go anywhere.
I'm Veronica Taylor, and from myself and Ash Ketchum, I just want to say, Moana Nui, I choose you!
Aloha, everyone. Thank you for joining us again for the Moana Nui Podcast. We're very excited about tonight's episode. But before we dive into it, for those that are joining us for the first time, let us introduce ourselves. I'm Dana, the other half of the Moana Nui Podcast. I am also a event planner, a cosplay con staff, and cosplay photographer, and also a voice actor, and a whole lot more. And to my lovely right on your screen, I would like to hand it over to the other half of the Moana Nui Podcast, the yin to my yang. She is the quintessential woman of this time, the superwoman of today's time also. I'll hand it over to the lovely Moana.
Aloha, everybody. Dina gets me every time, y'all. She be hyping people up. I'm like, girl, you look in the mirror with all that stuff.
Hey, if you ain't hyping yourself up, somebody else got to do it.
It's so true. And you know I suck at that. So thank you, Dana. But welcome everybody to the show. It's good to be with you all again. I feel like we're getting back into our groove. Life has been a little unexpected lately. And so we're glad to have our wonderful guests with us tonight, our friends, and to hear about the Cosgala, which I remember when it was just the apple of Anita's eye, and she was exploring this idea to bring this to our community. So welcome everybody. Please engage with us in the comments. If you have questions about the event, you want to know more, you want them to talk more about specific things, drop them in the comments and we'll engage with you guys tonight. So
yes,
with that said, let's do some intros.
And right before that, just want to, as we always like to do, indie projects on Kickstarter to support. Yes. There's 3 of them that we would like to highlight. The Sundering, if you like D&D, Unlikely Heroes has their new 5e adventure that you can pick up. So definitely check that out. They have still several days
on the show next week.
On that. Thank you, JD. JD says he needs me to be on his voicemail. Yes, give him the smooth jams on that with his voicemail. But of course, in your comment section is the link to their Kickstarter. Definitely go there if you are a D&D fan to grab your copy for that. Also, we have Immortals with our friend Brett from Indie Comics Dispatch. Also, give him support for his new comic that he has out there. Definitely check that one out for that one. And last but not least, our other friend of the Moana Nui Podcast, Dorsey, has a new project based on the historical Haitian hero. I'm so very excited about this one. Definitely check out this one also in your chat. As we mentioned, Immortals Artist is also, as you can see on your screen, and also support Dorsey's new project right here. Also, that's the link. So give her a support on that. So once again, we are so glad to have y'all on the show. And with that, like I want to mention, let us bring our guests up to the front and let you hear about them and about Cosgala. First, we want to introduce the very lovely, multi-talented, uh, and founder of Cosgala, Tranquil Ashes. Bring her on up. Yes.
Yes.
Hi. Hi. Thank you so much for having me on the Moana Nui Podcast. It's like, it's time. It's almost time.
Yes. Yes.
The anxiety is high, but I'm very excited.
That's all right, because when it's your baby, it tends to be, and I always tell people with event planning, everybody thinks running in an event or a con is, oh, it's going to be like this. Is no. It is so many moving pieces behind the scenes. You just don't know.
Exactly.
And then on top of that, she is cosplay extraordinaire. She will have your face beat to the gods if you allow her to bless you with her makeup and her brushes. So hit her up if you go at a con and she's going to be in your market, or you can fly her to where you are to get your makeup done.
That's it. That's the one.
Stay tuned. You'll find out how to contact her to do that. So yes. And our next guest is also another amazing talent. She is a cosplayer, gamer, so much more. And of course, if you're on social media, you definitely have seen this amazing cosplayer with the cosplays that she has. Please help us welcome. It's the Wreck-It Ronnie. Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome. And thank you for being part of the show tonight.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. All right. And our next one. Oh, I was so excited when we found out that they will be on the show. This person, just the title itself got me when I saw it. They are a spiritual geek, a transformational life coach for the geeky generation. I mean, we need that. We need all the guidance we can get on a spiritual, mental, and physical level. Let us welcome our next guest, Jermarc. Welcome, Jermarc.
Everyone looks so cute, and I was like, let me switch it up on y'all a little bit and just
be the cutest.
No, I'm gender expansive. I use all pronouns, but I'm having a very she they evening. But
that's all right. We all have our days, so let it be. Because I mean, especially as me and Moana, we know from the Hawaiian culture, it's the indigenous cultures always have known of having the multi spirits, and it's always been part of the culture. It's just the colonized part of the culture, not so much. But they're just in denial, so that's all right. And last but not least, one of our family members of the Moana Nui Podcast. She is the founder of HBC UConn. She is another dynamo that is an entrepreneur. She's a philanthropist. She is a person that fights for all rights, especially within the HBCU umbrella. And she's a cosplayer extraordinaire. Help me welcome Cece the Geek. Welcome, Cece.
Thank you. Appreciate the warm welcome. And happy to be in everybody's presence. Some of my favorite people.
Yes.
One of you.
Everything is always better amongst amazing people.
Yeah. All in the name of the Cosgala, girl.
There you go. Well, of course, what we'd like to welcome everyone to the show. We are so excited to have each and every one of you with us tonight. So let's start off by having each of you introduce yourself and tell the audience a little bit about yourself. So let's start with Wreck-It Ronnie.
Hi, everybody. My name is Ronnie, or Wreck-It Ronnie. I am a cosplayer of, I think it's like 13 or 14 years now. I've been doing this for a very long time.
She started at 2.
Yeah, basically, I just came out and I was like, bye, put it on me. I do streaming as well. I do lots of convention appearances. I do lots of guest spots at conventions. And part of the reason why I'm here is because I will be one of the ambassadors for Cosgala. So me and a gaggle of other really talented, really present creators kind of in the blurred geekdom space are going to be there. And I'm just here to, spotlight this really cool event, get some hype generated, help answer some questions, hopefully, and hang out with some really cool folks.
Awesome. Welcome. And next we have Jermarc to introduce themselves.
Hello, my loves. Hello. I'm Jermarc Axinto. I am a trauma healing coach, though I've been in the community a long ass time, honey. Y'all might have known me from my podcast, Tabletop for the End of the World, or back when I was doing my YouTube channel, Gamer's Guide, and teaching philosophy using video games. I've done a bunch of shit. My current journey, though, is I think the most profound and most important to me is just helping guide people in their journey towards no longer living a life defined and lived through the lens of trauma and trigger. And I utilize that using merging spiritual practices, but combining that with science. I'm a skeptic at heart, and so I make sure anything I offer anybody, I can always back it with a scientific understanding, and I offer a geeky lens too. I'm here specifically because I adore everyone here, obviously, but also Anita. I supported Anita in her journey the first time Cosgala came around, and that was back when I was a film head, and so I was like recording all the things and being an emotional. I was an emotionally supportive person back then, and now I've just turned it into a career with education. I wasn't just like, oh, I like read a book, let me go help people work on this shit. Like, I got educated, honey. And so, here to support people. Want to clarify though, not a therapist. I will not diagnose you. I will not prescribe medicine to you. But like, I'm here to kiki. Let's chat.
Yes. And our next guest, Tranquil Ashes. Can you introduce yourself?
I ain't got nothing on all the folks that are with me, but you know me, Tranquil Ashes. I've been here for a minute too. Just kind of doing my thing and being present and being very loud in doing the things that I do. And I just wanted to put something together for the community, and this is the beginning of a very, very big journey, I feel, and I'm very, very happy that everyone here is with me on that journey.
Awesome. And last but definitely not least, Cece the Geek, go ahead and introduce yourself for those that may not know you.
I know I'm trying to figure it out how to package it all. So I guess more or less, like you said, I am an activist. I've pretty much been an activist my entire adult life, and starting primarily with Hurricane Katrina relief, although I could go back a little further with doing other, frivolous things as a kid. But primarily that was like a really life-changing experience for me. And in that work, I just realized I wanted to dedicate my life to service pretty much. And I found myself making a life doing work on behalf of HBCUs, everything from the con, having helped run other conventions. Of course, I'm here today always in support of Anita and the Cosgala and everything that entails, as she supported HBCU Con and has now since become a member of our staff and project manager for that. And, HBCU Con is partnering with the Cosgala, sponsoring the 3D photo booth, and we're going to provide some gifts for the VIPs. And yeah, man, I love it here.
Nice. Well, welcome once again, everyone, and especially those in the audience being introduced to our fabulous guests. You're getting introduced and definitely keeping them in mind. So, of course, the topic of the night, the Cosgala. So, Tranquil Ashes, I have to ask, for those who are hearing about Tranquil Ashes for the first time, tell us how the inspiration came about to make this event happen.
I think the inspiration came over in like multiple steps, and then like culminated into deciding to do this gala. I had the opportunity to study abroad in Rome, and while I was living there, I had the opportunity to go to Carnival, the Venetian Carnival, with the masks and the beautiful gowns and all the old architecture and things like that, and just the grandness of it all, the uniqueness as well of it, people coming from all over with their sewing works, their needleworks, their glass works, all of these things, not only just on their person, but to sell in the heart, like the yard that they had. And I just saw this huge combo of beauty, like revelry, dance, and art. And I was like, I want to do something like this. I want to something like this is what I want to do. And then, you fast forward, because then I didn't know I was going to be a cosplayer. I didn't know I was going to do makeup or anything like that. I was just going to school. I was going to school, and I was studying like fine art. I was doing charcoal paintings and stuff like that. And then I decided that I think that the community kind of deserves a different space, a unique space, that kind of pushes the envelope of creativity, connecting with each other, people who have aspirations of creating spaces, just new places for, BIPOC, or just for people in the nerd community in general. So, and I think that the journey evolves every couple of weeks. I add just another point of why I think this is a place for the community. But yeah, that's how it started.
Awesome. And of course, as Wreck-It Ronnie said in her introduction, the Cosgala has several cosplay ambassadors like CC and Wreck-It Ronnie. Tell us about your ambassadors and what made you decide on which ones that can be an ambassador of the Cosgala.
The goal of the gala is to celebrate arts and creatives. So if you fall in those spaces, the gala is a place to highlight you. So both of these individuals both create spaces, both create art in various forms. You can see it on Ronnie's face right now, the art. And, just like Asisi just said, HBCU, she created a space. So those are the people that I would like to highlight in these kind of gala spaces, and people who are looking to reach that step or get into this crazy field, because it is crazy out here. Have a chance to kind of peruse and speak with people on the ground in a comfortable setting, not where there's so much, expectations, like at a cosplay, like at a con, like a huge con where there's hundreds of thousands of people there.
Yes. Well, that's awesome for that. And of course, with you, introducing Cosgala, a lot of people hearing this for the first time, what makes the Cosgala different than any other event or party that someone can go to?
Well, once again, it's not just something to do after the event is over. It is the event. The folks that are there presenting their talents, other creatives that are there talking, they are the focus. So the gala is about everyone. The goal is for everyone to get something out of it when they leave, and just so happen to be entertained and have fun. Get a little schwazy, because everyone enjoys that every now and again, and have something to talk about, like later, saying, "Hey, I met this artist at the Cosgala, and now we're doing this project together." And that happened at the first one, even at the first event that we had, our pop-up Black Panther screening for the first one that came out. Many people hooked up together. If you don't know him, I'm sure everyone here does. Patrick Strange with New Release Wednesday. He found some of his comedy buddies there who are his like friends now that he works with. So it works. And now that I've seen that it works, I know that there's a place for the gala and for everyone who wants to be, something.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah, I think that's really important because, like, at a lot of these conventions, we're so busy, either whether it's cosplaying or, working at the booth. One of the things that I wish we had more is, that time to just kind of network and hang out and get to know each other better as people and, like, what's our life like outside of the geek community, but also, like, celebrate our common fandoms and stuff like that. So I think that's really great. So like when you hear Cosgala, like I think big, like how you envisioned it, right? Like elaborate costumes and things like that. Is cosplay required, or can folks dress up in other types of ways?
So as long as you go with the theme, it doesn't necessarily have to be an anime character, a video game character. It could be from some book that nobody's that you know of has heard of before, but you bring it there and then you share your story, and now there's a whole group of people into the thing that you're into. So anything that you can think of that can fit the theme, or you can merge into the theme, works. And even if you don't have the time or availability, we're all grown-ups, we have so much to do. It's just a nice black tie event. There just aren't a lot of them in our spaces. There are a lot of them that say they are, but they aren't. But I want to provide a elevated experience for people.
Yes. Now, of course, you mentioned theme. For, of course, you had a different theme each year. So let us have you like JD. He wasn't pro wrestling. Now I'm getting into theme, so we're going to find out if it is pro wrestling connected to the theme. So
we can work it out. We can work it out.
So that way you can get prepared. But you're comparing your first year's themes and the themes leading up to this year. Can you talk about each theme for each year and then go into this year's theme?
Sure. So my first year was actually back in 2018. I would have had more by this point, but pandemic stopped everybody in their tracks for a couple of years. So I'm basically like back on my starting over pace, grinding, getting back to where I was the first year. But my first one was the Masquerade Ball, and it's directly connected to the Venetian Carnival, like directly. That was the first thing that inspired me to do this. So that's why I wanted to do that as my first theme. And moving forward, I'm looking at trends, I'm looking at fashion, things of that nature that are new and exciting, and for people to, think out of the box. Like the one thing that I always do with my cosplaying for the most part is I'm not someone who does exactly what it looks like. I kind of expand it into, what I might envision it. What if this and this? What if that and that? This is definitely a gala where you get choices. There's no limitations. How far you can think of outside the box for the theme, go for it. Just be safe, please. Nothing crazy, okay? We want to be safe and enjoy ourselves, of course. But Cyberpunk, I think, right now, technology and just a lot of things are moving very fast. Things are moving very fast, and we're moving into that age where we have to start thinking, hey, things are looking a little dystopian right now. So I wanted to play on that theme, as well as I'm a huge video game fan, and the visuals for Cyberpunk 2077 definitely inspired some of that. There is an anime coming out, and ironically, it comes out in September. Tell me I'm a genius. Tell me I'm a genius. I planned it in the cosmos, and it just landed. It just worked out. So,
Hey,
but
like you
yeah,
said,
that's why it's this theme this year.
yes, we're connected by, like we were talking about earlier, between connected by water and mana. So you were getting that from the universe, and everything was brought that to you, and it's just like everything aligned, everything
Yep.
aligned.
It really
There
did.
you
It really did.
So, okay, for those that may have no clue, or especially really new to a lot of the geek culture, can you explain to those that may not know what cyberpunk is?
Cyberpunk is basically about enhancement. That's the best word you can use for it. Enhancement and forward thinking. If you have played Cyberpunk 2077 or even maybe watched Arcane, In the Lanes are very good examples of cyberpunk characters, and it's just body improvement or body augmentation. That is also something that is huge right now in terms of our real world culture. Not necessarily cybernetics yet, but I think we're getting close. But it's definitely something for folks to just come up with something new. That's the goal. Bring new things into the world.
Very nice, very nice. Now, of course, with your ambassadors, and we even have, Jermarc that has attended your first Cosgala. Can each of you give your own touch and feel of like what it will be like to be part of this event, and also what that people can take back with them when they attend Cosgala? Either one of y'all. I'm not gonna pick nobody.
I was gonna let Jermarc go first because you called him out.
I can go. I can go first. I was like, let me hold space. Yeah. So, if you attend this event, what you're going to experience ultimately at the end of the day is community, and it's community. It's an opportunity to connect in such a way where it's not about the hustle, it's not about the grind. It's not, don't get me wrong, people are going to show up and show out and feeling like just the full baddies they are, but they're not doing it for a photo op. You know? They're not doing it like, even though we said networking, but it's not networking in the really like, let me show up here and give everyone my business card. It's let me show up here and see who I most energetically connect with, where we also all happen to look fabulous as fuck. Like, I should ask if I could cuss in this podcast. My bad. But like, it's an incredible space because it's, you show up. I remember when the first one happened, and we showed up, and I was like, oh, dope! Like, there's a DJ. There's gonna be a really nice like catered food and meal. Like, everything's set up. Tranquil Ashes is also like, let me get something for my vegan girls too. Thank you. I appreciate it. But then suddenly there's somebody like giving this gorgeous burlesque performance in the middle of the dance floor, dressed full on like Aaliyah, Queen of the Dance. And you're like, what is happening? Like, what, this was on the itinerary? Like, what's going on? So it's just really, I mean, in the same way royalty would just have people showing up and performing like for the royal house, like that's how you're going to feel. With the cyberpunk theme, I don't know what's going to happen. So there's that element of mystery too. Like, how do we add that level of, I don't know, joie de vivre to it with the cyberpunky-ness of it? And I mean, I think one of the biggest things too is just like, people know how to dance, and it's just really nice. And the music's good too. Like, it's just really nice going to like an event and a gathering that's called the gala, and people aren't just awkwardly like sidestepping, and like, and a song comes on and everybody knows exactly how, like if Swag and Surf comes on, like everyone knows what the fuck they're doing. But then also because it's Cosgala, like everyone will be jamming to a song like that, and then suddenly you hear like you'll hear the Smile Bomb from Yu Hakusho come on, and then and then everyone will go off, and like we know this, like queerness and geekiness are so in alignment with itself, and for so many of us, when we fit in a certain box, like when we're in the BIPOC community, geekiness isn't talked about. When we're in the geek community, being a person of color isn't talked about. So here you'll have this beautiful intersection where it's not exclusively being put in a singular box. It's so like I said, I'm gender expansive. The experience itself is expansive, and that's what makes it so special. It's not just going to a convention and you're like, oh, I'm at a con. It's all geeky stuff all the time, and it's very, and some in a lot of ways, it's very colonized. And it's also not just going to an exclusively BIPOC event, and it's just here's all the stuff from our culture. It's like everything all at once. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah.
I blacked out a little. I already forgot what I said.
That's all right. And Cece, you next, as far as what people can take back from going to the Cosgala, and what they can experience being there.
I guess as an event planner, and Anita and I have had this conversation several times, and I think that's something that you guys can relate to as well for all your respective projects, is that so much of it is how much of like your heart that you pour into it, and it ultimately affects the results and the outcome of your event. And it's kind of like exhausting, and like in every sense of the phrase. Like it's emotionally exhausting, it's physically exhausting, mentally, everything. But I think what at least what I would want, or if I were Anita, if I were to speak for Anita, what I would say is to take away that, to never lose focus on the craft and why you get started in all of this. And it's so easy to get wrapped up in, the social media and like the clout chase, if you will, and like wanting to be popular, wanting to be seen, wanting to be accepted ultimately. But just don't forget why you're in it, and to, find a tribe who will support you in spite of all that BS, quite frankly. That's, I think, what will be the biggest takeaway from my perspective.
Very nice, very nice. That could be used in so many different perspectives. Especially making sure you have the right people around you, and that's going to help build you up,
right?
And not just ride your coattails.
Exactly. Facts. Speak on it.
Mm-hmm. And Record Ronnie, with you being an ambassador and kind of seeing how this is all coming about, what do you want people, from your perspective, that they can get from Cosgala and to experience by going to this event?
I would say pretty much everyone already hit it on the nail of the head, especially Jermarc, with just that we don't have as many like super upscale events. I feel like when people think of like geekdom and nerddom and then think of like high class, like very fancy things, it almost like subconsciously is mutually exclusive in your head. Like you don't see those two worlds coming together very often. So to have a space that's very purposeful in marrying that is really important. I think it's really cool because I, as somebody who very much enjoys dressing up, have always wanted to go to like a gala type experience. But I would say that I think the thing that mentally had been holding me back is just feeling like it would be a space I wouldn't fit in. Although I really had the desire to go, I had a feeling it would be one of those situations where I get there and I immediately want to go home. But that's not going to be the case at any place where the Triforce Quartet is playing. Like that's for me. That was handpicked for my tastes. So I just think it's really important to be able to tell people who have often been marginalized, have often been discounted, have often been weird, that they can get put together and have a very exquisite time as well. And just kind of provide a space for people who enjoy both sides of those things to be surrounded by other people who do, and expand those worlds and those networks in that way.
Yes. I definitely agree with you, because most of the time whenever I've seen high scale, as far as that we are in the numbers with, it's primarily prom which is high school. There's nothing really for us after prom unless you're going to a corporate event that you have to dress up in suit and tie, but it's not that. It's very stuffy. It's very boxed in, but something like this. And then of course, all of us here have gone to different cons, and they have raves, they have parties, but it's not it's not of that same fit. You're right with the people you like. It's of that of the same thing, but there are also people that aren't there because they were like, I'm going to bed, I got to be up at 7. But something like this, going that especially, I've heard a lot of people say, well, I didn't go to prom, so this is like their prom that you
basically. I would say this, I can already tell, is going to be more fun than my prom was. My prom wasn't fun, but that's because I've always been, the person that's into the geeky nerd stuff. Like, and I feel like a lot of people in our space can relate to that. Like the big, dress up event that we had was prom, and I went there and nobody wanted to talk to me because I didn't have a whole lot of friends like in my immediate school. Most of my friends I had growing up were friends that I made at conventions going and dressing up, or like friends online. And this is also a way that you can maybe even meet some of those friends you've had online for years and years. I definitely know that there's a couple of people going to Cosgala that I've been in touch with for years, but never had the opportunity to actually meet. So, it's an important space.
Yeah, I think that's what happened with Jermarc and Mike. Like, I think you hadn't seen each other in a while, but you were both at the gala. Was that the case? Yeah, I think so.
Yes. So those of you know who Spidey Spice cosplay, I'm the godparent of his child, and we first connected in the dance community because we were both hip hop dancers for a long time, and then because life happens, we didn't see each other for a long time, and then he was at the Cosgala, and I was like, in 2018, it was great, and the pandemic happened, and I once again haven't seen him in a long time. It's fine. I went to Blurred just to see him, and he's like, yeah, I'm adulting. I'm not at BlurredCon. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. It's fine. Everything's fine. But also, to speak to prom, I think people don't actually enjoy prom. I think everyone's just traumatized into thinking you're supposed to enjoy prom. And if you think prom was the highlight of your life, I'm sorry. I'm sorry life hasn't been going well since then. I hope things get better for you. That's all I have to say about that.
Yes. Because it's usually the people that enjoy our conventions were the people that were like, I have, this is part of, the stages of life. You got to go, high school, you got to go to prom. If you go to a school that has homecoming, and then go to college, and then all that kind of stuff. It's like those stages you have to go, whether it's like check off the box. I went, even if I went for just 10 minutes, and I was like,
and you gotta do the picture. You gotta do the
But, I'm a little spoiled because I get the sorority life. So
so
we get at least one gala. We gonna get at least one gala cranked out.
You got the good shit. You didn't get the let's go to Men's Warehouse and get these really terrible dresses or whatever that are like way too shiny. No one to this day, prom dresses are still ugly, yet they're still making money every year. Like,
a lot of them aren't very great.
Because I know as ugly as those dresses, especially when you look back, you're like, it probably cost them like $10 to make that dress, and you went and spent $300 for that dress. You were thinking,
can we call Cosgala the anti-prom? Can that be the tagline? It's like you're gonna wear some shit you feel hot and sexy in. You're gonna be your full authentic self. And I bet you probably thrifted half the pieces for your outfit, and you look bad as fuck and didn't spend $800 on it. Like
basically, and that's one of the things that I really want to push is like, it doesn't have to be skirts below the knees. Like if you have something that you want to do the thing, and let's see what your brain comes up with. Yeah. I love watching like ideas like blossom in people, like it, because you can see it the moment they're like, I'm like, there it is. Follow it, follow it. And so many people get discouraged to follow it. This place is telling you to follow it. Whatever that creative push drive, art, in any of its forms, do it and do it for you.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's similar to like I had saw online, which I thought was adorable, that someone for their birthday, I think it was their 30th birthday, decided to do a adult sneaker prom. So everybody had sneakers on. The ladies had their gowns dressed to the nine, but they had sneakers. So I was like, that's smart. Everybody's feet are comfortable. Yay. You didn't have to have the pile of pumps and heels at the corner of the dance floor because everybody's feet was hurting. And I was like, that's cute. And you just saw all of this beautiful melon all in the videos and the pictures. And I'm like, yes, I love that. And it's usually the BIPOC community that always bring things to the next level, and Cosgala is one of them. So of course, bringing it back, of course, with the event coming up September 17th, and it will be in Baltimore, Maryland. So anybody that is in the DMV area, get your tickets. If you're planning to go to DMV around that weekend, get your tickets. But tell the audience what they can get with their general admission tickets, but what more they can also get with the VIP tickets.
Okay. So general admission, of course, gets you in. It gets you fed and all you can eat as well. All of the food is going to be gourmet. And guess what, guys? Crab cakes are on the menu. That's all I'm saying. They're on the menu. I'm from Maryland, okay? On the menu. So that's what's happening. So we're getting fancy out here. So you get your all you can eat buffet. You also get your 5-hour open bar. Everybody is going to get a little parting gift. I'm not going to tell you what the gift is or gifts.
Just be there to get it.
Just be there to get it. And of course, you get to see all of our wonderful entertainment. We have Triforce coming, of course, like Ronnie said. We have spoken word. We have musical acts. We have burlesque. It's basically just a showcase. And of course, the cosplay showcase, of course. So if you have a cosplay or an outfit that you want to show off and potentially win really cool prizes from, enter. It's on the website. And for your VIPs, they have access to being closer to all the fun in the room. They also get a parting gift, but it is a far larger parting gift. And I'm not going to say what's going to be in there, but a lot of our sponsors and donors, if you check them out, HBCU, TJ Comics, Warped Art, all of these people will be providing prizes for those cosplay contests winners, as well as Art of Wigs. I know you guys have heard of that. If you are a cosplayer, you have heard of them. They're kind of like the end all be all for it in this community anyway. But and more. I won't spoil too much, but that's all. That's what you would get. And of course, there's a hotel block. It's literally across the street from the venue, because I know with 5 hours of open bar, things can get a little mixy, things can get a little wavy, and you're really going to start
if you've ever attended a convention, you're
going to really start hearing those cybernetic noises in the ears, you know what I'm saying? So make sure you get there, or if you're not, bring someone who is your DD. We want everyone to be safe in the situation. So lots of to look forward to. And of course, you get your 3D photo booth experience from HBCU Con. And there is press. TJ Comics is definitely going to do press. And they'll be going around asking some interviews, seeing how you're feeling. Everyone's the star here. Everyone's the star here.
Very nice, very nice.
Well,
of course, JD had to ask, is the gift a NFT?
No. No.
But yes, and of course, everybody, if you've ever attended anything even on a corporate level, of the gifts and just the ambiance that you have there, just know it's going to be on our level and better for something like this. So definitely get your tickets and everything. You got the entertainment. Bring your cosplay. Come to the nines because I love it. If you've ever attended Dragon Con, they have a photo shoot of the cosplay, cosplay kind of noir. Everybody is a very dressed up version. That black. I remember Royalty Cosplay. She was Shuri from Black Panther, and she had the glasses, but she had a flowing gown and everything else, and everybody was dressed to the nines. And I'm like, oh, it's hot and you're outside. But Cosgala, you could be inside and do the same thing.
Oh yes, AC and ice.
Exactly.
I also just realized that Cosgala is another excuse to wear that very expensive prom dress if you still have it and you can still fit it.
Yes.
You get another use out of that expensive $10 dress you got.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All else fails, just pull out Old Faithful, add some glow sticks, man. You Gucci.
Yeah, exactly.
Gucci.
Well, it's a prom dress. If you have been I know a lot of people, bridesmaids extraordinaire. You have been got like that movie 31 bridesmaid dresses. You'll go ahead and dress one of them up and come in one of them bridesmaid dresses. As long as they, even if they're an ugly bridesmaid dress, just go ahead and take some of them bows off if it's got like 10 million bows and just dress it up and everything.
I mean, if we're going all out in that case, I just want to, I'm married, but I will offer myself a service. I will give you the full prom experience. So I'll take the pictures with you. I can be either part of the date, honey. You want me the masculine or feminine, whatever you need. Either way, I promise you at some point you will be crying in the bathroom. I will help you have that full experience. If you really want to go all out, I will support you. Let's make it happen. We'll stage a fight in the middle of it. We'll be crying to the Savage Garden song. I'll ask the DJ. You can Venmo. My Venmo is this. And you can pay me for the full prom experience at Cosgala. We'll go all out.
There you go. You even get the prom picture, with the stage poses that they gave you at prom. You can get that all there too, so that full experience.
Oh my goodness.
But yes. And of course, a lot of people, if you aren't in the anime world, as they said, the theme of Cyberpunk, I had to make sure I looked that up for movies. As people, if you've seen, of course, Matrix, Johnny Mnemonic, Looper, Dread, Blade Runner, any of those are RoboCop. That is your level of cyberpunk aspects to kind of give you that inspiration. Of course, anime world, you have a lot more examples to kind of go through and look at, but definitely, look at those different examples to help inspire you to get your outfit together for this event. Bring it to the floor with that and everything. And but now, of course, with this event, as far as to get your tickets, can you tell everybody how they can get their tickets and exactly what to expect as far as when they get to the door?
Okay, so you can get your tickets through Eventbrite, but the link is on our Facebook page as well as our Instagram, and as well as I believe our Twitter, and the website is simple. It's just www.cosgala.com. So very simple, and you can get to all of those links from there, both that and the hotel as well. And of course, if you have any further questions, just message one of the social medias and we'll be able to, answer anything that you have to ask.
Okay. Now, of course, if you go to the website, you kind of see some of the stuff to expect. As was mentioned, you have the burlesque performance. If you've been to any kind of, most of the cons they have as their DJ for the evening, DJ Taylor Senpai. So if you've been to any of his things that he is spinning for, you are about to be sweating and with your dancing and everything. And as I
Yes.
mentioned, musical performance with Triforce Quartet and poetry slam artist Black Chakra will also be is part of the lineup. So you definitely have an assortment of entertainment to experience while you are there. Um, I'm very excited. So can you also, of course, we have a couple of our of the ambassadors, but can you give also give shout out and let the audience know of some of your other ambassadors and also your street teams that you have?
Yes, absolutely. So our other ambassadors, folks that are, helping sell those tickets and being the face of the gala. We have Nurse Becky. I'm sure you've heard of her. We also have Shady Hayes, part of our street team. Shady Hayes is like a social media god. They know how to do everything. Mika, she's coming. We actually met at a table at a convention where we were both tabling, and we're like, hey, let's be friends. And so that's why she's an ambassador now. More street team members. We have Mad Celt cosplay as well, and we have an ambassador, Delta Major. She's going to be part of our cosplay contest judges as well as Ronnie. They will be helping to judge the lovely costumes that are coming, and Delta is a New York fashion designer as well. So we have an array of people coming, and I believe you also know Joe Colton cosplay. I think she might even been on one of these before, but they are a cosplay extraordinaire too, and we're also big Star Trek fans together, so we go to cruises together. So she had to be a part of my team.
And let's see. I see. Now you also have your street team. What is your street team?
So my street team is just basically folks that are getting some discounts for just helping to share, social media posts and things like that. And of course, with that, they get their own flyers. So it's cross promotion for them as well to go, to promote their own things and what they're doing as well.
Okay. Yeah.
So everyone's getting cross promoted. Everyone, promotion here, promotion there.
Exactly. Now, I do see this as an interesting question. Someone actually posted this on my personal social media. They asked this question is, have you considered doing like a pop-up version of Cosgala at a con, working with a con and having a pop-up Cosgala instead of the typical rave, which most of us don't go to?
I have, but I feel like most of the time, and which is why I think it hasn't happened to a certain degree, is that there are a lot of restrictions most of the time in the venues in which the cons are at. Most venues don't have a standing liquor license. Most venues don't have a standing, caterer or any of those things. So all of those things would have to be brought in. While doable, it wouldn't be one of those things that you can just walk into because you know it's there, which is how most galas are at conventions. You get to dress up, you get to go into the room with everyone, there's music playing. That's kind of where it stops. There's not food or drinks or anything provided. And I think that's mostly because of the restrictions of the con and the venue. So it would be a lot of red tape. Also, I just kind of wanted it to be its own thing. I don't want it to stand on the legs or the back of any other convention. I want it to stand on its own precedent.
Okay, very nice, very nice. As we are getting to the last 5 minutes of the, we've got a few minutes left before we wrap up. Of course, we like to have each of our guests to give a shout out of their social medias and also anything that we can be looking forward to seeing any of you as projects on your own. So Tranquil, let's start with you.
Cosgala is all I'm doing right now, y'all. For real, to be honest, I'm going to a few conventions. I will be at Dragon Con. So I'll be running my mouth about the gala there. I guess you'll hear it first here. I was asked to moderate the Encanto panel. So I will be doing that at Dragon. So it should be pretty fun. So look for me there.
Awesome, awesome. And also I have to get right now she is focused on Cosgala, but go ahead and also get your tickets for the Cabbage Con. Tranquil Ashes will be a guest. Cabbage Con, if you are a Avatar The Last Airbender fan or Korra fan, this is the con for you. And Tranquil Ashes will be one of their guests. So how to give that shout out, it'll be in 2023. Definitely go ahead and get your tickets for that con, and that way you can be there for that. So how to give that shout out. And Jermarc, let's go ahead and go with you, Jermarc, on where they can follow you at, and any upcoming projects or things you have going on.
Sure. Really quick, Tranquil, are you cosplaying as Luisa for the Encanto panel?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Absolutely.
So I had to ask because I remember
It's
I
gonna
remember
be so
seeing a
awesome.
picture of you. I was like, you got to do it. Also, if Cabbage Con isn't just one chaotic on cosplayer destroying everyone's shit for the entire con, I protest the entire thing. And just people just losing their minds over everything being destroyed by one well-meaning avatar. Just kidding. No, y'all should go to that. Okay, so you can find me literally anywhere at Jermarc Axinto. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I don't really use it, but I'm on there. I'm on the Clock app, TikTok. But really, the two big things I have going on. One is I have a 3-month transformational healing program that I do coaching one-on-one with people. I want to be so clear. This program is not, oh my God, after 3 months, my trauma's gone. It's not that. It takes 28 to 66 days to build a habit. And so the idea of the 3 months is to have the accountability necessary to build the habits that I will guide you in so that you are in perpetuity rewiring your nervous system, rewiring trauma and your lymph system up so that you're living in alignment. So there's that. It's called Alchemizing Authenticity. And I always do a free intake call. I have told people no before because if I feel like I'm not the right person for you, or if I feel like you're not ready, I don't care how much money you're going to pay me. I'm not in the business of wasting people's time because this is really important work. And I want to make sure you are have the conviction necessary to heal. So it's less like I'm punishing you and more like because I care about you, I'm not going to make you pay for something that is not the right time. The other thing I'm super excited for is a friend of mine who's a shaman, a Taino shaman. Their name is Angel Diaz. They and I are putting together, are facilitating the first ever queer BIPOC 5-day wellness retreat. So this is specifically for the queer and BIPOC community. It is called Queer Liberation, Embody Your Naked Truth. And it's very potent, it's very powerful. It's using everything that I've learned in my years of doing my own wellness work and offering it now to people. It's involving everything that my partner who I'm doing this with, my work partner that I'm doing this with, and it's going to be in the Poconos Mountains. We're locking down the location, so I can't name names, but the space we're looking at, who's very intrigued and very interested, is the queer campground in the Poconos Mountains. It is a members-only queer campground. So this is that is being facilitated by 2 non-binary BIPOC practitioners in a safe space for our community, which was really important because we're all traumatized for so many different reasons. And so any way to make it to curate in a space that people feel safe enough to be vulnerable is really important. So we're looking at next June for that, potentially the week leading up to Juneteenth. So it's going to be Pride Month and leading up to Juneteenth and queer. It's going to be amazing, honey. And if that goes really well, I eventually want to do one similar to that, but with a geeky twist. So we'll see. But yeah, so Queer Liberation and my program, you can find me on jmarcaxinto.com. Join the wait list for Queer Liberation. And yeah.
I'm gonna have to talk to you later. I just had 45 ideas during the time frame that you spoke, and I'm just I need to talk to you.
Exactly.
I need to talk to you.
Yes, we can always kiki.
I said it right before we went on live. I was like, okay, we're gonna have to talk after the show.
We're gonna have to talk afterwards.
Yeah, let's talk. Let's kiki. I'm always down. I love connecting.
Yeah. Well, I will always say, and Moana knows this. This is a famous quote from our therapist, Shay Rains, that she always says. She's like, "If you're breathing, you need therapy." Because they were like, we have been traumatized in so many aspects, from how we grew up, through school, different things, and we all need a form of therapy. So as long as you're breathing, you need therapy. So
And you're usually not breathing right anyway, which is the worst part. Usually the breath is too shallow, but we don't got to go in there. But yes,
Exactly.
And also just
Exactly.
expressing my gratitude for you all. So thank you, and come to Cosgala. That's the next big thing I'm gonna physically be at. So come to Cosgala.
Yes. And Wreck-It Ronnie.
Hi everybody again. What do I have coming up? That is a great question. Cosgala. I have Cosgala coming up. Ha ha ha. After Cosgala, my last event for the year is going to be EchiCon, which is like an adult anime themed convention. And I myself, as a adult content creator, I'm going to be doing some stuff there. So if you're a fan of that, or just kind of want to hang out with some fellow like 21 and up weebs without having to worry about censoring yourself for the younger audiences, that's a great place to do it. My IG is also like this entire like it's Wreck-It Ronnie here, so you can view all my links to any social media I am on from the link in my bio on Instagram. And I think that's really all I have coming up. Oh, also I'm gonna adopt a dog soon, you guys. That's completely random, but I need an emotional support fluff, and I'm going to get a Pomeranian because I grew up with a Pomeranian, and I'm going to name him Jotaro because I just finished.
Yay, Jotaro!
That's all I got going on my end. I'm gonna give him a little hat, and I'm gonna dress up as a stand and then take Jotaro to cons with me.
I must be a present for these moments.
Yes.
Hey, I will tell y'all, if anyone has ever gone to MomoCon, there's a very famous Egyptian cat that comes, and his name is Senpai. So everybody and Senpai dresses up in cosplay too. And he has 3 wardrobe changes throughout the day. So he's a different cosplay each time. And yes, everybody looks for Senpai and takes their pictures with Senpai. So I can see that with Jotaro.
He's gonna be famous. I can't wait to make this dog IG. It's gonna consume my life.
Yeah.
I say this with the most love in my heart. I hope the IG blows up bigger than yours.
Me too, honestly.
So that your tag can say my dog is more famous than me.
My dog is more famous than me, and I am pretty famous. So that's
And Cece, can you tell everybody of upcoming things you have going on and how they can follow you?
You better say that, Ronnie. My first dog was a Pomeranian, by the way. His name was Cinnamon. That was so for coming up for me, well, obviously Cosgala, and congrats Anita on Encanto, and I want to congratulate you in advance on another successful Cosgala. Be on the lookout. I don't want to really say anything just yet.
Exactly.
But homecoming season is on the way, so be on the lookout for that. Also, be on the lookout for some, possible movies coming out. Maybe Tranquil Ashes is involved.
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe. But
Tranquil Ashes.
Turn this live off. I need to hear this tea. Hold on.
Might be a movie screening in the works.
Okay.
So we're gonna have a second red carpet.
So as y'all hear, y'all need to make sure you're following all of their socials to keep up with the online tea, so you can know about what is going on. And especially, HBCU Con, follow Cosgala socials and all of their socials. Yes,
absolutely. Definitely. Yep, and of course we got HBCU Con 2023 doing a different world this year, so we're gonna take that entire play on words and run with that. So I'm looking forward to that, and all that entails. outside of that, I'm just, working. I'm working my little butt off at my full-time job. Now, I love it there. I love it there, and I'm looking forward to doing all the work that I'm doing with the stakeholders and administrators at HBCUs, and we're actually going to have some students coming. I can say that publicly. We're going to have some students coming in who may or may not be involved in the screening that may or may not be happening.
We're pleading the fifth right now.
We're pleading all of the fifths, Yeah. And outside of that, I think the last event of the year is going to be Urban Action, which Urban Action Showcase up in Times Square. Looking forward to that coming back live and in person too, because they've been doing virtual for the past few years.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you everyone for coming on to the Moana Nui podcast. We're very excited. Of course, Tranquil Ashes and CC have been ongoing guests of ours and even been guest co-hosts with us. So once again, I'd like to thank both of you for stepping up and helping us during those times, especially. And of course, welcoming Record Ronnie and Jermarc here to the podcast. And of course, definitely welcome you to come back once again, especially if any projects you have going on. And we want to let all the BIPOC community know so they can be part of it. But once again, everyone, thank you for joining tonight. Definitely go to Cosgala.com to buy your tickets and definitely be there and don't suffer from FOMO. Don't FOMO, you woulda, coulda, shoulda, done it, and be there. And that way you can be in the pictures, be on the social media, have it everywhere and say you were there. So get your tickets and follow everyone's social media so you can keep abreast of all the things going down and be a part of that. So once again, everyone, thank you so much for joining us and have a good evening, everyone. Bye, everyone.
So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. If this the land of the free, it was a freedom then, when they annexed Hawaii and called it Cedar Lands, without any type of payment and no signing off. Called themselves the Republic in 1894. 1.2 million acres overtaken from the native Hawaiians. When they resisted, the West retaliated in violence and erasure. The Hawaiian language is banned as part of colonialism's plan to expand, Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe as a part of their ongoing war with Asia. Used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. No work out for all the locals. School never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. We will. So if we put Hawaii into perspective, well, Black and Asian history is interconnected. Considering the fight with the Pacific, then of course versus Asia, they was treated as a middleman for war, but didn't let the Western colorism run its course. Cause dark skin was a sign of dignity to core. The land was taken in the name of capitalism, when prior to it was an actual kingdom. Clap back at the system. Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe as a part of their ongoing war with Asia. Used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. No work out for all the locals. School never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. We will.